What's poppin' YouTube, Gaishu here, and just today we got new information about Sword and Shield's DLC, the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, with the Isle of Armor being confirmed to come out June 17th, which is in just 2 weeks, but that's far from the only new information we got, so let's take a look. First off is the fact that we now have a confirmation for what Galarian Slowbro looks like. The shelter is on its arm, which I think is really interesting and something I've always wanted from a Slowbro. And it's Poison Psychic, the first ever of its kind. Galarian Slowbro happened when a Shelter bit it, and the Galarica Spice in it mixed with Shelter's Bite, and it became a poison type. And a signature move called Shell Sidon, where it does a Mega Man and fires poison from its shell arm cannon thing. It can poison you, but also does physical or special damage, depending on which one does more damage. I personally think it's really interesting they're implementing a physical special split into the moves more. Like, for example, it doesn't matter if your Slowbro is a physical or special attacker, it can do either. We also have information on Urshifu's Gigantamax forms that we briefly saw in the last trailer, which are now called, wait for it, Gigantamax Urshifu Single Strike Style and Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike Style. Might as well add N Knuckles and featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series to the end of that title. Gigantamax Urshifu Single Strike Style looks ready to bellow in fury. People call it both the very embodiment of rage and a divine emissary that banishes the evil spirits with its fury. Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike Style will quietly maintain its stance with a calm expression. When facing this Pokemon, it seems some will become greatly agitated, feeling as if the very depths of their soul have been exposed, and others report seeing a sense of relief as if they've been cleansed of evil spirits. Personally, I don't think it makes any sense to see this and feel relieved, but whatever. Gigantamax Urshifu Single Strike Style will turn into G-Max 1 Blow, and Gigantamax Urshifu Rapid Strike Style has G-Max Rapid Flow, both of which can deal damage even if you defend yourself with Protect or Max Guard. All Max moves go through Protect and Detect, but this is the first time we've been able to defend against Max Guard. Speaking of Urshifu, Single Strike Style Urshifu knows Wicked Blow, which is a one-hit move, and Rapid Strike Style Urshifu has Surging Strikes, which is a 3-hit Water-type move. Both of them always result in a critical hit, which is awesome because I believe the only move that always results in a critical hit is Frost Breath, but I'm probably wrong and I'm going to get yelled at in the comments. It has a new ability called Unseen Fist, which makes it so that when it uses a direct contact move, it goes through Protect, which, again, a lot of emphasis on going through Protect and other protecting moves, which is really interesting indeed. We also had a brief look on Gigantamax Venusaur and Gigantamax Blastoise, and it seems you'll be awarded a Bulbasaur or Squirtle that will likely have the ability to Gigantamax. The power of Gigantamax has made Venusaur's flower move so large that it covers a Pokemon's body. The flower petals are extremely thick and stringy enough to repel half-hearted attacks. The flower on its back spews so much pollen that it resembles a volcanic eruption. Inhaling the pollen can cause uncontrollable sneezing, and breathing in too much of it can cause fainting, but it also stimulates plant growth. Gigantamax Venusaur has the exclusive G-Max move G-Max Vine Lash, which deals damage to an opponent, but also traps into 4 to 5 turns if it's not grass type. I love how G-Max moves all have unique effects, and this one isn't that far off from Fire Spin. So I'm happy that they're replaying the hits with the effects on G-Max moves. Gigantamax Blastoise has more cannons than you could ever imagine. It articulates them in different ways. It doesn't even bother aiming. It just fires water from multiple cannons to overwhelm people. The legend also says that the main cannon on its shell blasted holes through mountains. It has a G-Max move called G-Max Cannonade, which, like G-Max Vine Lash, will not only do damage, but also trap the opponent for 4 to 5 turns if they're not water type. But most importantly, it shoots the water from its cannons. Guys, this is a big deal. Why would you give Blastoise cannons if it never used them? We waited 20 years for this. Moving over to the Crown Tundra, we have more information on the 2 Regis and what are now the Galarian regional birds. Regieleki, which really should have been called Regielektric, is the Electron Pokemon with the ability Transistor. It absorbs electrons to live, and its electric type moves are said to be more powerful than any other electric type. Researchers have determined that its body is fitted with what appears to be a special insulating equipment that does not conduct electricity. Some people theorize that in ancient times, people tormented by Regieleki fitted the equipment on the Pokemon to restrain its powers. It has a signature move called Thunder Cage, which is like Electric Red, but also, again, like Fire Spin. It traps them for 4 to 5 turns, but it seems it works no matter what type you are, so it also works on an electric type. Regidrago is obviously a dragon type, and is known as the Dragonor Pokemon, with the ability Dragon's Maw, which is a new ability, but we don't really know what that does right now. Regidrago's body is composed of crystallized dragon energy. The energy is densest to its central core, and due to its body composition, it can use its Dragon-type moves with more power than any other Pokemon. Regigigas tried to create a Dragon-type Pokemon out of crystals, but it ran out of crystals when it was making the head. In ancient times, people feared that if Regidrago was completed, it would wreak havoc on their land, so they sealed it away in a temple, which, if I had to guess, is probably the temple in which you catch Regieleki and Regidrago. There's a new move called Dragon Energy, which does more damage the more HP you have. And last but not least, new Pokemon-wise, are of course Galarian Articuno, Galarian Zapdos, and Galarian Moltres, which, interestingly, actually form a type triangle. Galarian Articuno is psychic and flying with competitive. Though cold and callous in personality, it moves in a highly refined manner, and it keeps itself airborne through constant use of its psychic powers, almost never flapping its wings. It battles using intense psychic powers that act directly on the cells of living beings. The beams of psychic energy fired from its eyes have a particularly potent effect. The slightest touch of these beams leaves the victim totally immobilized, as if frozen. It had a signature move called Freezing Lair, which is a psychic type move that may leave you frozen. And I personally think it's really nice how, even though the Galarian regional birds are a different typing, that they keep the original ice, electric, fire types in them with their moves. Galarian Zapdos is a fighting and flying type with Defiant. This belligerent, battle-hungry Pokemon seems unable to resist challenging Pokemon since it may be stronger than itself. It overwhelms opponents with speedy movements and ferocious kicks using its naturally mighty legs. When it leaps down cliffs and rocky mountains in ultra-high-speed zigzag movements, it's said to resemble a bolt of lightning. However, its wings seem to have atrophied, and it appears to be a poor flyer. It had a signature move called Thunderous Kick, in which it overwhelms you with lightning-like movement before kicking you, and it may lower defense. And last but absolutely not least is Galarian Moltres, which is the most badass looking of all regional birds, and possibly one of the most badass looking Pokemon of all time. Which is ironic because Cantonian Moltres looks stupid. It's known as the Malevolent Pokemon, and is a dark flying type. And has a haunting personality, it conducts itself calmly, according to its own limbs. It exudes the energy churning within its body as an aura akin to a column of raging fire, leaving ordinary Pokemon unable to even approach it. It is especially skilled at attacking opponents' minds by spreading its wings side and unleashing a wicked aura. Opponents hit by such attacks are overcome with deep fatigue, as if all their energy has been burned away. And a signature move called Fiery Wrath, a dark type move in which it turns its wrath into a fire-like aura, and it may make you flinch. And that's it for the new Pokemon we've seen so far, but there is also a variety of features that were shown in both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. On the Isle of Armor exists the Cramomatic, which is a recycling type robot, which is obviously meant to be based on Cramorant. You can put any combination of 4 items in it, and it'll give you items, like Pokeballs and PP ups. And some combinations might produce rare items. There are also new tutor moves that can be taught in exchange for Armorite ore, which is a substance you can find through max raid battles and other means. Burning Jealousy is a fire-type move that, when it hits, causes damage to all opposing Pokemon, and burns all opposing Pokemon that have had their stats boosted during this turn. Grassy Glide is a grass-type move, which has high priority when used on grassy terrain. There's also this thing called Max Soup, which is made with rare ingredients you can gather on the Isle of Armor, which I guess means you go to max trade battles and get rare items, and then you go to this house somewhere and you make the Max Soup. And for Pokemon which Gigantamax drinks Max Soup, it can Gigantamax. And of course this also applies to the starters and other Pokemon you've already caught, which is fantastic, because previously if you wanted a Gigantamax Pokemon on your party, you would have to go to a max raid battle then, and have it be 5 stars, and then hope that maybe it's a Gigantamax Pokemon, which is already stupid, but then there was no way to turn the Dynamax Pokemon into a Gigantamax Pokemon, so you had to get rid of one of your team members. But no longer, because now it seems you can Gigantamax a Pokemon on the spot. The Crown Tundra has a new feature called Dynomax Adventures, in which you team up with 3 other trainers to go inside the Pokemon Den and fight max raid battles within. You can cast it for your team if you win, but will be kicked out of the den if you lose. And of course, as previously mentioned in the previous trailer, all the legendary Pokemon will be able to be fought in max raid battles on the Crown Tundra. Which makes me wonder how Dynomax Adventures is going to work. Is it always going to be legendaries, or is it sometimes going to be legendaries? It's probably sometimes going to be legendaries. Maybe if you get far enough, it'll be legendaries. We'll have to wait and see. Also in the Crown Tundra is the Galarian Star Tournament. If you progress far enough in the Crown Tundra, you can go to Wyndon to participate in the Galarian Star Tournament, where you have multi-battles with characters in Sword and Shield. But you can also pick your partner, which I think is really neat because, well, you can do a whole tournament with Leon. We also have new information on a new character in the Crown Tundra we briefly saw in the last trailer, Paolni, which is a stupid name. He brought his daughter along to help investigate the mystery behind why legendary Pokemon live here, and he's not good at listening, but he loves his daughter. And that's pretty much all the new information we were given, aside from, like I said before, the fact that we now know the Isle of Armor's release date, which is June 17th. And honestly, I'm hyped. I'm really looking forward to the Isle of Armor and being able to do stuff there. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button, ding the bell so you'd never miss a single alert, and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, guys, shoot out.